This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news tonight, this time it's Istanbul. Well, tonight, the Turkish officials are saying nearly 50 people are dead and 60 people are injured in an attack by 3 suicide bombers on the country's largest airport. Turkish state television reports 3 suicide bombers launched the attack. The suspects detonated devices outside the security checkpoint at the entry to the international terminal after police opened fire on them. Ataturk is considered one of the most secure airports in the world. We'll have more on this developing story coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Playing politics with a deadly virus. It's one thing for members of Congress to battle over budgets, taxes, whatever. It's another thing to play games with funding to fight the mosquito-borne virus Zika. Florida has more cases of Zika infections than in any other state in the country. And while the president, Marco Rubio, and Vern Buchanan have all been on the same page calling for over $1 billion to fight Zika, the bill to do so is now tied up in the Senate. Why? Because Republicans are including cuts to Planned Parenthood and birth control in the Zika funding bill.
The president himself asked for $1.9 billion in funding, calling this a public health emergency. But our Democratic friends block it because they're sore losers.
Democratic leaders say they are willing to compromise on a funding measure. Meanwhile, Florida is reporting its first case of a baby born with Zika-related medical issues. Florida's Department of Health says the mother is from Haiti and contracted the virus outside of the U.S. The family's location has not been disclosed. And there are new developments today in the race to develop a Zika vaccine. A Harvard research team says 2 trial vaccines have been successful in tests on mice. Initial safety tests on humans are expected to begin in the coming months. In the wake of the mass shooting earlier this month in Orlando, Florida Democrats are calling for a special session of the legislature on gun control. Legislators would consider a ban on gun sales to those on the federal terror watch list. While there's enough support to make a formal request for the session, Republicans are balking. The incoming House Speaker calling it irrational and irresponsible. The National Rifle Association says Democrats are trying to exploit a tragedy.
I have not heard a single Republican say that they were interested in spending the taxpayers' money for a special session that would achieve nothing but more publicity for Democrats.
3/5 of members in both the House and the Senate have to give their support in order to hold a special session. Here on the Suncoast, the population of Manatee County continues to rise, but the investment in public safety and public works is not. Now, the understaffed agencies are asking commissioners for more funding. The number of EMTs, 911 dispatchers, and other county employees has not kept up with the population growth. While many of these positions are funded through property tax revenue, one commissioner says the proposed half-cent sales tax would alleviate pressure on the general fund.
This half-cent sales tax, if it happens, and the voters will decide, would help immensely because it would free up our general budget. Manatee County relies almost entirely on property taxes.
Public hearings for the budget start in September. Residents will vote on the half-cent sales tax in November. Well, so far, swimming at the War Mineral Springs in Northport has been a real money loser for the city, $500 a day. The springs extended hours in an effort to bring in more visitors, but so far it is only getting a fraction of what was expected. The pilot program runs until the end of August. Commissioners will then decide whether to do it again next year. Now for a check on our weather, we go out live to ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. He is at the Sarasota Yacht Club tonight for the Grand Prix Festival kickoff. Bob.
That's right, the Powerboat Grand Prix Festival kickoff party tonight. Lots of events still to go, and now joining me live is Rita and Donna. I remember those names because they're two big hurricanes. If you remember that, so I kind of remember that. You are from the Diva Angels, by the way.
Right.
And let me know what you guys did. I know I saw you at the golf tournament this weekend, and then you guys did something Sunday too, right?
Right.
Yes, we're volunteering throughout this entire event at different major
So you did a poker run.
Poker run. Yes, we were the ones that were in charge of the poker run. Donna was the head of that, coordinated everything, and we all helped.
Yeah, we had
everyone.
155 people turn out for that ride through the park on Sunday. It was great.
That's a good showing.
But
Very
tonight, we are in charge of the silent auction here at the Yacht Club, and it's not too late to come out and buy a $100 ticket. Gets you all the free food you want, all the open bar you want, and there's $10,000 worth of beautiful silent auction items. So come on over and make some bids.
You are selling it. You're
we
selling it.
are. And we have great prizes. We're closing the auction at 8:30, so it's not too late.
So it
Come
all
on
helps out.
down.
It all helps the charities too, of course,
Absolutely.
obviously.
And
Yeah,
there's
Suncoast
even an
charities.
autographed map with the deadliest catch fishermen.
Oh, that starts tomorrow, by the way, too. The friendliest catch tomorrow. I got to get some weather, you guys. Thanks a lot for joining. I appreciate it. Weather's got to get done here a little bit. Here, the high today was a hot one into the low 90s. The low was 77. So again, a little bit above average as far as it goes. No real rainfall here. There were some big storms earlier in between Venice and into looks like on into near Fort Myers. But the forecast is calling for limited activity here through tonight. As far as the forecast goes for boaters, it should stay pretty nice too for the next couple of days, and a light chop in the bays and inland waters. The 7-day forecast shapes up like this: showers and storms around tomorrow near the coast, late morning, early afternoon, and then inland later in the day, and then a 40% chance. So our rain chances will be increasing as we move through time on into the weekend, with a better chance for mainly inland showers. And the Hooters girls are here. You guys are selling raffle tickets, obviously, too.
Yes.
Yes, and a lot of people buying them.
Of course.
Of course they are for you guys. We appreciate you guys helping out the children's charities. Thank you very much. Alan, back to you. They're having a great time here, raising money for a wonderful cause. Back to you.
I'm sure you are, Bob. And still to come, the presidential election is still nearly 4 months away, but Democrats are already trying to rally support for Hillary Clinton here on the Suncoast. We'll give you an inside look on some of the campaign's efforts when we return.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
It's summer blockbuster season at the movies. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, our film critic joins us to rate the top new summer releases. Work can definitely stress us out, so we'll learn some workplace-appropriate yoga stretches that you can do at your desk. We're celebrating Shark Week, and Chef Judy has the best fish sandwiches right here on the Suncoast.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
The all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC7. This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Florida Leather Gallery.
Money raised during the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Festival allows Suncoast Charities for Children to provide annual grants to the Suncoast Foundation. Since the festival began, more than $20 million in facilities have been built by the Suncoast Foundation across the area, benefiting Community Haven, Children First, Sarasota County Special Olympics, and the Florida Center for Early Childhood.
Florida Leather Gallery is celebrating the 4th of July with spectacular savings. Take 33% off hundreds of styles. Experience freedom of choice with a wide and wonderful assortment of leathers. Freedom from worry with our impressive collection of protected leathers. And freedom from guilt as we proudly offer the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, free delivery. It's all happening right now. Come celebrate with our Lexperts at our 6 Florida Leather Galleries.
Anyone who drives through downtown Sarasota knows the city is the home of the Donald Trump's Florida campaign operation. The Clinton campaign is headquartered in Tampa and is already hard at work here on the Suncoast. ABC7's Christopher Brantley has more.
Hello, William. I'm Bob. I volunteer with the Sarasota Democratic Party.
6 months out, and local Democrats are hitting the phones, feverishly dialing number after number.
We do appreciate your support for the Democratic Party, and we do hope that you will cast your vote this year.
The calls focus on party registration. They're garnering support for the Democratic presumptive nominee, Hillary Clinton.
Well, I think the best thing we can do is organize our voters, and that's what we're trying to do, precinct by precinct, and that's registering voters, new Democrats, helping them to understand the issues.
With only a few months left of a hard-fought election, these Democrats are rallying around Clinton.
Sarasota County, on the whole, are so moderate, and they are intelligent. The intellectual capital here is amazing.
Christine Jennings is the chair of Sarasota County's Democratic Party. Although Sarasota leans Republican, she thinks this election is an opportunity to turn the area from red to blue. She points to 2008 as an example, when then-Senator Obama lost Sarasota by a small margin.
He only lost by approximately 208 votes in 2008, and I think this will be the year that Sarasota County goes blue.
If that does happen, it might be a testament to the ground game, and that's where this group comes in. Gabe and Linda Moretti and Barbara Desmond, who go door to door for Clinton.
And some will say yes, and some will have issue questions. Where does she stand on certain women's rights? Where does she stand on financial kinds of issues?
Gabe Moretti is the president of the Venice Democratic Club.
In the Venice area, we are a minority. There are more registered Republicans than Democrats.
To turn that around, they want to open a Clinton campaign office in Venice. And they do get pushback. Questions come all the time about scandals, from the attack in Benghazi to Secretary Clinton's emails.
I say, well, tell me what you think has happened as a result of this. Do you think anything has happened? And they say, well, no, it's just the idea.
Linda Moretti asks people to look at the long term of Clinton's time in office, asking them not to judge a specific circumstance.
You have to go back to the basics and say, who is this woman? What has she done for the average person? And she's done a whole lot to try to help the average person.
That's what the groundwork is for a campaign, hoping to turn a negative view into a positive one, and hoping on Election Day more people will vote on their side. Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. And in a moment, our roundtable.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Music on Main at Lakewood Ranch. If you haven't been, come on out and see what you've been missing. The first Friday of every month, you can enjoy a free concert, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Catch up with friends, enjoy free activities for the kids, or make it date night. Whatever your pleasure, there's something for everyone at Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by these sponsors at ABC 7. This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Florida Leather Gallery.
Money raised during the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Festival allows Suncoast Charities for Children to provide annual grants to the Suncoast Foundation. Since the festival began, more than $20 million in facilities have been built by the Suncoast Foundation across the area, benefiting Community Haven, Children First, Sarasota County Special Olympics, and the Florida Center for Early Childhood.
Florida Leather Gallery is celebrating the 4th of July with spectacular savings. Take 33% off hundreds of styles. Experience freedom of choice with a wide and wonderful assortment of leathers. Freedom from worry with our impressive collection of protected leathers. And freedom from guilt as we proudly offer the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, free delivery. It's all happening right now. Come celebrate with our Lexperts at our 6 Florida Leather Galleries.
And joining us for more on tonight's topic is Mitch Perry, the reporter for FloridaPolitics.com, Christine Jennings, the chairwoman of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, and Zach Anderson, the politics reporter for the Herald Tribune. And thank you all for being here. And let's first talk about how this all works. As we mentioned earlier, the Clinton campaign is basing their statewide headquarters in Tampa, and then they send out staff from there. The Trump campaign is based here in Sarasota, but for all the fervor about Donald Trump here in the Sarasota and the fact that his Florida chairman is Joe Gruters of Sarasota, Christine, you believe that Secretary Clinton can win Sarasota. Why?
I truly do believe it. I believe it because the intellect and how many people in Sarasota County are moderates. President Obama in 2008 narrowly lost by 208 votes in Sarasota County, and I think with all the things against Donald Trump, that the intelligent, moderate people of Sarasota County will not vote for him, on the whole.
Zach, you have your finger on the pulse of Sarasota County.
I respect Christine, but you know, I think that Sarasota County is pretty solidly Republican, not, you know, overwhelmingly, but by a decent margin. 2008 was a pretty unusual year. You know, Obama was kind of, you know, a pretty, you know, he generated a lot of enthusiasm, he had huge crowds. If you look at 2012, it was a much bigger margin that Mitt Romney carried the county then. Trump is a huge wild card, though. You know, it's unclear that, you know, whether or not the GOP is really going to get behind him, you know. But Clinton, she really has struggled as well to really generate a lot of enthusiasm. So I don't necessarily see her winning the county, but you never know.
Christine?
I have to say, though, enthusiasm is not the only thing that wins races. And with all the comments that Donald Trump has made, and for example, against Planned Parenthood alone, and so many other things, for that reason, I think you are going to see particularly women of all parties vote for Hillary Clinton. Even if they tell someone they voted for Donald Trump, I don't think they will.
Before I move on, has anybody seen any kind of polling here in Sarasota, Manatee County on the presidential race?
No, nothing locally. I mean, in Florida, there's been a number of polls that have come out most recently that have shown Clinton up by 8, 10, even 15 points in one poll, but I've never seen a local poll here.
Mitch, the Clinton operation is in your backyard.
Yeah.
What are you picking up in terms of how organized are they? Do they have their act together? What exactly are they
I really
doing?
couldn't tell you. You know, I tried to talk with other media people today about what's going on there because it's pretty quiet in terms of activity. But, you know, again, it's only late June. But they wouldn't want to talk to me about this at all. I will say this, you know, our mayor, Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn is leading you know, the campaign there, and he is incredibly enthusiastic for Hillary Clinton. He did a press conference last week when the surrogates were all around the country when Trump was doing an economic speech. You know, he gave a speech with a local businessman in Tampa there, so they're getting him out there a lot as a surrogate. But I would say, you know, about, you know, overall the state, one of the other things that's going to be tough for Donald Trump, I believe, and of course he really needs to win Florida to win this presidential election, is the Latino vote continues to grow here in Florida. And surprise, Donald Trump is not very popular with Latinos and Hispanics in America this year. And I think that, not that he can't win some of that vote, but I think that that makes it even harder because of demographics, which the Republicans looked at when they saw what happened with Mitt Romney 4 years ago and said, we got to get more of this vote. We're going to get less of it, it looks like.
It does seem the Clinton campaign is organized. We're getting daily press releases out of the Florida office, and it seems like I keep on hearing their staff is out there. They're going all around the state. By comparison, where is Donald Trump's Florida campaign? You
know, I think that he's got a much smaller staff in Florida than Clinton does at this point. Yeah, I mean, he's got some that have held over from the presidential primary. You know, he's got a state director who was elevated to Southeast director, Karen Giorno. There's still some paid staff in the state, but he has yet to really staff up from what I understand. Clinton has a stronger ground game at this point. She's also been on the airwaves more with super PACs that are supporting her. But again, you know, there is that question of whether or not she has really generated much enthusiasm yet. I talked to a supporter recently who just held a rally in downtown Sarasota. She was so kind of unnerved that she had seen these big rallies for Bernie Sanders and big rallies for Trump, but there really hadn't been a whole lot of visible activity around Clinton. So she wasn't even affiliated with the campaign or the Democratic Party, but just, you know, through like Facebook and other things, got some people together and had a bridge walk on Sunday over the Ringling Bridge, and a small rally drew a few dozen people. So that's the most visible thing that we've really seen from the Clinton campaign.
Of course, we've been talking for the past year about Donald Trump's ability to win these primaries without being well organized. So that raises the question, does he really need to do much more than he has done to do well in Florida?
well, he does need to do more. I mean, but he is starting to do it, actually. It's taking his time, but, you get daily press releases now where you never get that much from him other than like a speech he was giving. He's hiring a lot more people on a national level. I guess that's going to trickle down here to Florida as well. Look, he's got to start spending some money. I know he brags about how he's been so effective at not spending a lot of money, but I believe it was $8 million in June that either Clinton directly or Super PAC spent in ads here, where he spent $0. And I think that's going to, that's not going to help. And that's the same trend throughout these other battleground states. We saw the stat last week where Trump had like $1 million versus $42 million for Clinton in the bank. That's got to change for him. I think it will, actually. I think, although who knows if he can coalesce the entire Republican Party, but the path they're going on right now, it does not augur well. But to go back to what Zach is saying, I agree in terms of the lack of enthusiasm. I think it's a big deal to see what happens at the convention next month in terms of the Bernie Sanders supporters getting in line with her or not.
Yeah, and a good thing for Clinton, Elizabeth Warren came out and gave this really big public joint speech with her and has endorsed her. So, that progressive wing of the party seems to be coming over to her, which should help her.
Christine, what kind of attention are we going to see here on the Suncoast by the Clinton campaign? I know it's far away, but can we expect to see her here? Is she raising money here? Is she raising lots of money here?
She is. I'm a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton. I have been since she declared herself as a candidate. And I can honestly tell you, people are giving very, very willingly and very happily, and they're eager to give when I talk to them. But I'd like to go back to something about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And that is
she going to come here? I have to
Well,
ask.
I don't know that myself.
Chelsea's
I really
been
don't.
Here and Bill Clinton's been here. So
we've had them here, but if she does, it will be the latter part. It will not be real soon, in my opinion. But I'd like to go back to the unfavorables that Trump has, because his unfavorables are so high, even with Republicans. And when you see people like George Will drop out of the party, when you look at all of the Republicans that are not even going to attend in July, their convention. So there is so much more here. Look at the companies that pulled out.
And we have less than a minute left. I also hear that Hillary's negatives produce a low ceiling for her, which also raises the question about, even if she does win Florida, will there be coattails for anyone, Mitch?
Well, that's a big question, right? Because the thought is that Trump is going to hurt the down ballot candidates here, not only in Florida, but around the country. I don't know. I really think that's an unknown question right now. I mean, both candidates have like unfavorables, right? So that's what's not really very exciting about as we look into this election going forward. Is it's going to bring up a big surge of people wanting to vote and support a ticket of one way or the other.
And we'll have to leave it there. I want to thank you all for coming in today, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org, and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
That's Chuck, proud homeowner, regular do-it-yourselfer. Today he's attempting an electrical repair. This is Pablo. He's an electrician with Mr. Sparky. How's he doing, Pablo?
Terrible, Mike.
Yeah. What Chuck doesn't realize is that almost 68,000 home fires are caused every year by electrical problems.
What?
If he doesn't have the proper tools and training, he's liable to start the next one.
Little help here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You might want to write that number down.
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Florida Leather Gallery.
Money raised during the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Festival allows Suncoast Charities for Children to provide annual grants to the Suncoast Foundation. Since the festival began, more than $20 million in facilities have been built by the Suncoast Foundation across the area, benefiting Community Haven, Children First, Sarasota County Special Olympics, and the Florida Center for Early Childhood.
Florida Leather Gallery is celebrating the 4th of July with spectacular savings. Take 33% off hundreds of styles. Experience freedom of choice with a wide and wonderful assortment of leathers. Freedom from worry with our impressive collection of protected leathers. And freedom from guilt as we proudly offer the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, free delivery. It's all happening right now. Come celebrate with our Lexperts at our 6 Florida Leather galleries.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Sounds like a simple deal. Sarasota County gives a company money in exchange for relocating it and bringing jobs to our area, but some in the community are questioning whether these deals really work. Companies such as Sanborn Studios not only failed to create the jobs they promised, some of them completely tanked. Sarasota County is now reconsidering when to offer incentive packages, and here is what you had to say. Rose von Prebrandt writes, efficient infrastructure, reasonably priced energy costs, a balanced selection of housing options. Seems to me if we invested more in those things, then businesses wouldn't need bribes to move here. And T.J. Macklin writes, support your local contractors. They have served the county just fine for decades. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news at 7. And that is all the time we have for this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Cohn. Have a great night.